Hey guys, Troy here, back with another video today. I have a fun one that I've been meaning to do for a while. I thought it'd be a fun little comparison and hopefully helpful to you guys. So, and that video idea was based off a graphic I saw on Instagram actually. Maybe I'll put it here. And it was Transfermarket's top 10 most expensive players in the world. And hopefully it's up there right now. You might notice an absence of people like Messi and Ronaldo, which might be weird to you, especially maybe you guys who don't follow the soccer the closest, but this is their value. So older players, you know, people like Messi, who's actually out of contract soon, they don't have as much value because their playing years left are limited. So these aren't necessarily the top 10 best players in the world, so please don't argue that in the comments. You guys are usually free to comment and disagree with me, do whatever you want, but that won't be productive. This is also not my list. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with it, but I thought it'd be fun to compare this list versus the prices of the PSA 10 rookie cards of these players and see, is there any where there seems to be big discrepancies. And quick disclaimer, before I get into it, I tried to make the comparisons as close as I could, so I'm not gonna take Mbappe gold prism versus a Holland raw regular Topps card. That's not a fair comparison because one is super rare and maybe even graded versus one that's from a lower end set, and there's plenty of, but I still do have some, there's different print runs in different years and not everyone has a true rookie and all these other type of things. So I did my best and hopefully it'll still be helpful. So at the #1 spot in the world, we have Mbappe, and on this list, his card also takes the top spot. So what I'm gonna do is do the card prices in order, and then I'm also gonna show like, okay, if they're #1 in the card price, what are they on the transfer market price? Once again, it's kind of tough, but I'll do my best so you guys get the point. Okay, so we have Mbappe Prism PSA 10 coming in at first on the official transfer market list and also on the card price list. I would have to probably agree with this one. I think it makes sense on both lists, but I do think that the Mbappe excitement, maybe is the word, has gotten a little out of hand. I think the World Cup win added a lot to that. I still think it remains to be seen how much success he's gonna have on club level, because he hasn't really even played in a top league yet. No offense to the French league, but he's undoubtedly a very talented player. He's very young. I think he's just 21, 22 still. So he has a lot ahead of him. I just think there's still more tests. I think if you're pouring $600 into him, into a Prism, which is like fairly mass produced, you have to be pretty sure he's a sure thing. And I'm not 100% sold on that yet, but I think at the very least, there's gonna be renewed Mbappe excitement around the 2022 World Cup. So maybe not the worst buy. I don't know, this video isn't saying yes to buy or no to buy, but makes sense that he's #1 on this list to me. Now, #2 on the card list, but #9 on the transfer market list, very surprising to me. I'd probably argue he should be higher on the transfer market list as well, but it's gonna be Erling Haaland, Topps Finest PSA 10. And I don't know the price off the top of my head, but I think it's very likely if it was his Bundesliga Topps Chrome PSA 10, it's probably higher than Mbappe. But I'm gonna continue fighting the good fight. Anything in a Dortmund kit is not a rookie to me, so I put the Salzburg one up there. But Haaland, just real quick, special. When he's out there, just catches the eye immediately, can't stop scoring goals, which is the most important thing there is in soccer. And it's only a matter of time before he gets his big money move to Real Madrid, or people have said Manchester United, I don't know, Barcelona, hopefully, that would be a dream. I may be wrong, and especially since we've seen a lot less of him, but I'm sold on Haaland, 100%. I have no doubt that he will tear it up wherever he moves. So, big believer in him, and a very deserved second spot on this top 10 card list. Now, #3, kind of surprising, maybe not, something with a lot lower pop count, I will say, than the Prism, but once again, I didn't use this Prism because it was 5 years after this card, so I just couldn't count it as any type of rookie. But we're gonna go with Salah's 2013 Panini PSA 10 when he was at Basel. And that is going for $380. So just missed out to Haaland. He was number 5 on the most expensive players in the world list, which was actually a little surprising to me. I didn't expect to see him that high up there. Even the price of this card is a little surprising to me for it to be that high. I'm not saying I necessarily disagree with it. Salah is a beast, you know, Liverpool Champions League winner. I think in my mind, the fact that he comes from Egypt, you know, he's not gonna be making that much noise on the world stage, but you know, they did make it to a World Cup. Also, he's a little older, so not too many years left in his prime. So I might be a little hesitant to pay this much, but once again, this isn't a buy video, this is just my opinion. But nonetheless, a really cool card. I like seeing the pre-Prism era cards, especially on a PSA 10. Those are really desirable. Next up, we have another riser. Coming in at number 4 on the card price list is Kevin De Bruyne in his 2016 Prism PSA 10, going for $360. Kind of surprising to me that this is fetching that high of a price. I was feeling really dumb that I bought these at around the $40 mark, and now they've gotten back down to around maybe even 15, so that's an insane multiple. But I think that just goes to show the lack of graded soccer cards there are out there. There might be some condition issues with this print, but still, that's a pretty insane multiple. But nonetheless, Kevin De Bruyne, one of the top players in the world, I think underrated and unappreciated, and not as known, especially by casual soccer fans, because he's not, you know, a goal-scoring forward or exciting winger or something like that. I think there will be more appreciation for him at the Euros and the World Cup. This is a card I have been buying, and if you know anything about soccer, you know how good and how impactful of a player De Bruyne is. He's on Belgium, so he's on a good side, a side that's, you know, maybe capable of making some noise at these big international tournaments, and we'll see what happens. Happy to see the card this high, but a little surprised for sure. Next up, we have our first player who's moved down the list, but still, you know, a respectable card price. We have Neymar's 2014 Prism World Cup in a PSA 10, and that is going for $300. I think I just did a mail day talking about Neymar, so I'll keep this one really quick. But I'd go as far as to say legend, one of the players who helped me fall in love with soccer in the first place. Still young, still think he has a ton of success ahead of him. Could see him being a big player at the World Cup, Champions League, maybe doing some things. Unfortunate to see him fall a little bit on the list. I'm not sure he should be that much lower than, for instance, Mbappe, but still no shame in coming in. I think it was 5th place on the card price list. Next one, this was a pretty big faller, coming in at 6th place on the card list, but he was actually the second most valuable player in the entire world, Raheem Sterling, in his 2015 Select PSA 10. Once again, sorry, the pop count on this is definitely lower. Sorry for not making it a Prism. It was just kind of hard for me to call his 2018 Prism his rookie card. But Raheem Sterling, to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of him as a player. I would not put him as the second most valuable player in the world, but the English effect is real. Being an English player, you're worth so much more to the teams, you know, registration rules, marketing, a bunch of those different things. I think this might be the first player, and once again, this is just my opinion, that I would not advocate, but I personally would be like selling. Like the rest of them, do what you want. If my friend were to ask me this, I would say don't buy. But what do I know? A talented player for sure, but $250, I'd personally stay away from this. Next up on the list, a riser, outperforming his Transfermarket spot, but we have Jaden Sancho in his Optic PSA 10. Now, I'm definitely going to sound like a hypocrite after I just rip Sterling, and I'm going to talk about how I own some of these Sanchos. But Sancho is still young, yet to see him in the Premier League. It's only just a matter of time. I think he's going to play a big role for England at the Euros and the World Cup. Very talented player. You guys know how I feel about the Optic rated rookies. I just think it's a sharp card. I love that it says rated rookie on there. And once again, a pretty insane multiple, because I know what these are going for in raw condition, and it's only like $19. So once again, the power of grading, but we'll see what happens with Sancho. I'm a little worried. He's been a little off at the beginning of the season. His mind seems to be elsewhere, but undoubtedly a very talented player, and that's why his card is so high on the list and why he is also on the top 10 transfer market value list. Continuing the run of English players, we have Harry Kane and his Prism PSA 10. This one is from 2018, so not a true rookie, but still going for $150. So I'm willing to admit my mistakes. Maybe Harry Kane deserves maybe a higher spot on this in terms of comparative card value. But I've actually heard a lot of people hyping him in a sense, his cards. I mean, asking me whether I think they should buy Harry Kane. I don't see him going down as a legend. Not the most exciting player. Very talented, that's for sure. Maybe Tottenham can do some things this year. He just personally doesn't get me excited to watch him. But who knows? If England has success, he's definitely going to be a part of it. So maybe his card prices can rise then. But still, this price a little higher than I would think, especially for a non-rookie. But Kane, a very, very good, talented player, and the English effect definitely is real. Wow, I promise I didn't do this on purpose, but we have yet another English player. So it's in real life, but also in sports cards, English players are just valued more. And we have Trent AlexanderArnold and his Topps Chrome 2017 PSA 10 going for $125. So I see this, and I think Trent AlexanderArnold, he's the only defender on this list, but he's valuable attacking wise for sure. I mean, if you're seeing the prices that the current Topps Chrome release is going for with, probably 10 times the print run of this year, I think maybe you should see this card be a little bit more expensive. I think Trent AlexanderArnold is locked in as a really impactful player, a main player for Liverpool and England for the next 10 years, which is really valuable, and something you couldn't say about someone like Harry Kane being more towards the latter part of his career. So I'm a big fan of this card. If you've watched any of my other mail days or anything, I actually have a few of these and looking to pick up some more. Love the look of Topps Chrome cards, and definitely a big fan of Trent AlexanderArnold as a player. All right, in last place, bringing up the rear. Once again, this is kind of unfair because this is not even close to his true rookie. I'm sure I maybe could have found a better true rookie, but I wasn't really finding any PSA 10s on eBay in the completed listings. But we have Sadio Mane, his Prism PSA 10 World Cup, going for $50. So really cheap. Mane, big things for Liverpool, doesn't play for the best national team, so I don't think you'll see much success there. But really shocking actually to see this for only $50 at a 10, even though it's not a true rookie. A little surprised to be honest to see him this valuable in terms of, he was actually number 5 on the list, on the Transfermarket list. So that was a little surprising to me. I'm not sure I would put him that high, especially with how many years he has left at the top. I don't think anyone would trade Mane for Haaland in terms of value going forward. So I'll have to disagree with that one, but that's fine. The list isn't supposed to be perfect. And unfortunate, someone had to take last place, but like I said, someone had to do it, so sorry, Mane. But all right, guys, that's it for the video. I gave my opinions on who I think should be higher and lower on both lists. Would love to hear your guys' opinions down below, and maybe who you'd be looking to pick up. Thanks so much for watching. We're gonna keep the videos coming. Thanks again.